100 spokes from new clothes. 100 spokes from new clothes.
All right, Jerome, I got to ask you, just for you growing up, who are some of your favorite football players?
It's crazy. Growing up, I didn't really watch a lot of football because being a bowler, but uh, growing up in Detroit, uh, there was a couple guys that I was familiar with. Billy Sims, he played for the Lions, uh, but the one guy who you kind of circled was Walter Payton. He was the man, in Chicago. He played Detroit twice a year, so we got a chance to see a lot of Walter Payton, and he was spectacular.
So for you on the spot, you being a running back Hall of Famer, if I ask you to put four running backs on the mountaintop for the Mount Rushmore on the spot, how does that look for Jerome Bettis? Like if I didn't know the game of football, need to learn about running backs, and Mount Rushmore could tell me a lot. How does that four look?
Jim Brown, uh, Barry Sanders. Wow. Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, and I'm in Dallas, so I'll go with Emmitt Smith. But it would be Emmitt Smith slash Marshall Falk
So
because of
Emmett
what he
Falk,
could do.
we'll run that. I like that. Two more quick questions for me. So, as me growing up in the '80s and going into the '90s, I'm a big video game player. You were on a cover of video game, which is pretty cool, Gameday, and just knowing that generations now know about you, just not only from the field but from the video game space and just that space. How is that for you? You also were on The Office, one of the first that episode as well.
You know what? It's pretty cool because um, the funny story. My daughter, obviously, she was 1 years old when I won the Super Bowl, so she doesn't remember anything about my football career. So I'm just dad to her. And just a couple years ago, she was in high school, and she comes home one day, and she always thought dad just dad. She came home so excited. She said, "Dad, you didn't tell me." She said, "You were in the office," and I thought that moment it said to me, "Unbelievable! All the things I've done in the Hall of Fame, all this stuff." And the one thing that makes me a cool dad is that I was on an episode of The Office. So it was a tough pill to swallow, but I got it. But it was great moment in time. But things like that, it causes you to realize that your time has passed, so to speak.
Your time didn't pass. This is my last question. So running backs, right? I just saw a team win a Super Bowl because they added Saquon Barkley, and many people thought the death of the running back was happening in the NFL. But now you see what Derrick Henry has done. What you did for your team, obviously, to get them into that Super Bowl, help contribute to that. Can you talk about that? How the running back now seems to be a focus for teams, and a period there it didn't look like it.
So just to give you an idea, the problem is it hasn't been the death of the running back. The problem is you can't find the running backs anymore. And let me explain why. When you go back and look at college football, that's always, the breeding ground where you find your running backs. Well, schools started to go this four wide receiver offense, and they always opted for a smaller running back. Well, that didn't really work with NFL. So as a result of that, you didn't have the choices that you used to have. So in my era, everybody ran two backs, so you had a big running back, and so it was easy for NFL teams to find running backs. You can find, every school had a really good running back. Well, now it's only 5 or 6 schools that have a running back that can carry the ball 20, 25 times and be a feature back in the NFL. And as a result of that, if those 5 or 6 guys aren't if one of them isn't really good, then that year you may not have one good running back for the NFL draft, right? Well, what is NFL teams? What can they do? They have to then go with multiple running backs to do one guy's job, and that's been the problem. But every now and then you get a special running back, right? That is he transcends the game, and that's what Saquon Barkley, was. He was in a situation where he wasn't fully utilized in New York. He came to Philly that had an incredible offensive line, and now you put him there, and voila, you've got a special talent and you got a great football team, right? So now I think people see. you do need to have a special running back, right? It's not just any running back. It's not just a running game. It's a special running back. You put him behind a really good offensive line. Now you got something. And I think you saw the same thing with Derrick Henry. You put him behind a really good offensive line. Oh, you got something, right? Because he's a special running back. So I think teams are understanding. Let me get my offensive line together. Then we can put a running back behind it. Then we get something special.
Here's your son. Congratulations, by the way. Thank you, sir.
100 spokes, new clothes.